I'm just going to talk about some more things for episode 2. My first thing, I know I touched on this last time, but the Jayson Tatum injury, just have a little bit of an update. He suffered that right Achilles tear in the game 4 against the Knicks. He underwent surgery and now he is prepared, well, the Celtics are prepared for him to miss all of the 2025-2026 season. Obviously, this takes a big hit on any chances for playoff success. I think it may, as I said in the last video, is just going to mean that the Celtics have to, keep building around a young core, develop some players that when Tatum's ready to come back, they'll gel really well with the system. For my next point, I actually have some player options. LeBron's player option is one of the big ones I'm talking about. Now, it is most likely that he's going to sign, but if LeBron doesn't sign the player option, and he could even choose to retire, which is the big concern, that takes a big hit on the Lakers, obviously. I think that puts Doncic in more of a leader position in the Lakers system. But no, that's very interesting. I want to see what happens there. Hopefully, LeBron stays, but you never know. And then we have the James Harden player option. I assume he's going to re-sign it. But there is a chance he doesn't. Some teams can go out and try and get him in free agency after that, which wouldn't be great for the Clippers considering the run kind of at the end of the season that James Harden put the Clippers on in that series versus the Nuggets. I know they lost in Game 7, but James Harden was the driving impacts towards that. He was really, he was a scoring machine. And he found his teammates and he works really well with their system. I'm going to do some way too early draft predictions for next year as well. I'm talking about Dybantsa, which is the projected number 1 overall pick. He's a scoring machine, He can get it done from anywhere. He's big, he's athletic, he can just get buckets anywhere on the court. Then I have, currently, he's projected in the top 5, Cameron Boozer. He's just kind of a really versatile big. He can shoot, but he can get buckets in the paint. His frame, his build, it's really ready for the NBA and all that. And then projected currently in the top 10 is Dyson Daniels' brother, Dash Daniels. He's just a really, he's a really high IQ passing guard. He kind of gives some Chris Paul vibes off, even though I think he's got a bit more of a slashing game, a kick out type of thing going for him. Chris Paul, he even gives a bit of Dwayne Wade to me. Not in the fact that he can get it done around the rim, but, he really just drives into the hoop. And then if he can't get a look for himself, he passes it back out, or he finds the short handoff pass or short bounce pass and set up the big for a wide open look. I think he'll do good in the NBA, honestly. And then a sleeper pick for me, he's a bit down. He's in the top 20 kind of. Darius Acuff Jr. In my opinion, he's a great lead guard. He kind of keeps his offense in check. He just, he's real smooth with it, but he's also shifty, and he's just a great finisher. Not quite Kyrie, but he has some of those real good up and unders. He's just really great. I don't know how else to put it. He just finds ways to get his team looks and keep his team in the game, even when he's not on his night. For my next point, I'll be talking about my Rookie of the Year predictions. For the Rookie of the Year, I have it's not Cooper Flagg. This might surprise you. I'm going to pick VJ Edgecombe. Not so much that he is the best player. I still believe Cooper Flagg is the best player in this draft. But Cooper Flagg's coming into a system with Kyrie, Anthony Davis in this system, and Klay Thompson. All of these guys are scorers. Anthony Davis getting it done low. Kyrie just a finisher, just a shifty finisher, and Klay Thompson obviously a real versatile shooter. I know Cooper can do all of these, but I think it's going to balance out his scoring and his stats, especially with three big scoring machines on his team. I hope that he does good in the NBA. Cooper Flagg is one of my. I think he's a real humble guy. I think he's really good. But in my opinion, even with Jaden McCain, Joel Embiid, VJ is coming into that system, Jaden McCain might be resting on some minutes after that ACL. Joel Embiid, always have to be ready for him to have injuries. And if what happened last year happens again, he's kind of got a bit more reign over the team. There's not too many threats. No disrespect to any of those players. I think they're all great. But VJ becomes a really big threat on the team, especially in the minutes where you don't have your best players on. Next point I have is MVP. For my next season MVP, my prediction, same old Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Honestly, he was great this season. I'm not quite sure if he should have got it done over Jokic, but he just brings another level to his team. He pushed that OKC team to be, I think, the best in franchise history and one of the best in league history. And I don't think that's going to stop, especially after a win. You put more confidence on, put some more work into your game, you improve on some of the areas you were a little bit worse at last season, and then you kind of have it. And I think this is around his prime. I reckon this season and next season's kind of his prime. It's kind of starting to peak. I think this season will be the peak, and then it'll go for 2 more years, and it'll start to go down. But I think 2026 season will be the start of Shai's real prime. And to me, I just don't think anyone else is going to get it done over him. I know Jokic is obviously going to be in the race. But for me, I can see Giannis being in the race again, because if Giannis stays healthy, he's always a threat to the MVP race. He's always a threat to the league. Obviously, he always gets injured. He's coming in and out of playing games consistently, and he still manages to be top 5 type of player. I think some new spots for MVP race are going to open up, especially with Tatum's injury. Tatum was a pretty big contender, even though he was only top 5. He was doing it all for the Celtics. He was great. And now that he's injured, we're going to see a younger player kind of move into that spot, maybe another guard. And that's where I predict Cade Cunningham might actually start getting up there. This is a bit of a sleeper on Cade, but he made the Pistons from the worst team in the league last season to one of the better teams in the league this season. Obviously, they lost to the Pacers, but we also saw the Pacers, made it deep into the finals and going into Game 7 with the best team in the league in the reigning MVP. So I think if they get in a bit of a different situation this year and they win a couple more games, with the East being a bit weaker next season because of Jayson Tatum's Achilles and Tyrese Halliburton's Achilles, I can see that being Cade's kind of season in the East. The only other player is like Donovan Mitchell, but he was also getting in and out of injury last season. And my last point is the Pelicans, and what's going to happen next season for them. The Pelicans, they obviously sent Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors for Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown Jr. and a 2026 first round pick and a 2031 second round pick. Some new picks for them, obviously one next season. Might we see them get one of those players I was talking about earlier? Maybe more in the Darius Acuff Jr. range, which I still think he's a great sleeper pick. And then obviously CJ McCollum being traded to the Wizards for Jordan Poole, which is great. I think that's one of the biggest moves they've made. I think that's going to be one of the most improving moves they've made. And Saddiq Bey, which is, he's kind of an older guy, a staple on the bench. And the 40th pick in draft is just happening. Obviously, I haven't watched it yet. Next video, I'll go over who they got there and maybe if he's a sleeper, if he's going to do anything, is he going to be a G League player for the rest of his career, or is he going to be a solid piece in the rotation? They also got Jeremiah Fears, number 7th pick, point guard from Oklahoma. I think that's great. And they got Derek Queen from number 13 after trading the 23rd pick and a 26 unprotected first rounder to the Atlanta Hawks. I'm not sure about that unprotected first rounder, but Derek Queen is kind of one of those guys. He's going to help their offense a lot. He's big, and I don't think they've had that key big for a while now. And I think him being in the Pelicans uniform alongside Zion, Jordan Poole, coming off the bench probably, or maybe even starting, probably not starting. Jeremiah Fears, 2 rooks are probably going to work great together. The Pelicans will probably try and run some plays with them together, develop them together. You got Trey Murphy out there, obviously. Great defender. I just think the Pelicans have a good roster built here, and I think it might even be enough to get them somewhere around the 6th seed or the 8th. I think they can even potentially win a round or 2 in the playoffs. I don't think they'll be able to go to the conference finals, but if they do, that'll be great. I can see it happening though. Yeah, but that's about all for today. I'll see you next time.